Hello, wonderful audience. Welcome back to Green Podcast. I'm the narrator, and today we're delving into the world of World at War I. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on the fantastic content we share on this channel. This is Story World at War I, and I'm thrilled to explore World at War I with you today. Whether you're a longtime subscriber or a new face, I appreciate each and every one of you. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. The causes of war. Alliance system. The major European powers were divided into two opposing alliances. The Triple Entente, comprising France, Russia, and the United Kingdom, and the Triple Alliance, comprising Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. The existence of these alliances created a delicate balance of power and increased the likelihood that a conflict involving one member of an alliance would draw in the others. Imperialism. The competition for colonial territories and economic dominance fueled tensions among the major powers. Imperial rivalries, particularly in Africa and Asia, contributed to a sense of mistrust and competition. Nationalism. Intense nationalism and patriotic fervor were prevalent in many European countries. This led to a sense of superiority and rivalry between nations, with each seeking to assert its dominance and protect its national interests. Militarism. A significant arms race took place as European nations built up their military capabilities. The belief in military strength as a measure of national prestige and security escalated tensions and increased the likelihood of conflict. Assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in Sarajevo in 1914 served as the immediate trigger for the war. Austria-Hungary's subsequent declaration of war against Serbia, along with the complex system of alliances, set off a chain reaction that quickly involved other nations. Failure of diplomacy. Diplomatic efforts to resolve the crisis were largely unsuccessful. The diplomatic missteps, rigid adherence to alliances, and a lack of effective communication exacerbated the situation and made it difficult to prevent the outbreak of war. Domino effect. The interconnected nature of the alliances meant that once one country became involved in the conflict, others were drawn in as well. The domino effect of declarations of war quickly turned a regional conflict into a global war. Economic factors. Economic rivalries and trade disputes also played a role in the build-up to the war. Competition for markets and resources heightened tensions among industrialized nations. The combination of these factors created a volatile and unstable international environment, ultimately leading to the outbreak of World War I in 1914. The war had far-reaching consequences and reshaped the political landscape of the time. Important events and battles. Invasion of Belgium, August 4, 1914. Germany's invasion of neutral Belgium prompted Britain to declare war on Germany. This event marked the beginning of the Western Front and the involvement of major European powers. Battle of the Marne, September 5-12, 1914. A crucial battle on the Western Front, the Battle of the Marne, saw the Allies, France and Britain, successfully halting the German advance. This marked a turning point, as it prevented the Germans from reaching Paris. Trench warfare, 1914-1918. Trench warfare characterized much of the conflict on the Western Front. Soldiers lived and fought in trenches, facing harsh conditions, diseases, and devastating trench warfare tactics. Gallipoli Campaign, April 25, 1915, January 9, 1916. Allied forces, mainly Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, ANZAC, attempted to capture the Gallipoli Peninsula to open up a sea route to Russia. The campaign ended in failure, with high casualties on both sides. Battle of Jutland, May 31st, June 1st, 1916. The only major naval battle of World War I The Battle of Jutland took place between the British Royal Navy and the Imperial German Navy in the North Sea. Although inconclusive, it had a significant impact on naval strategies. Russian Revolution, 1917. Internal strife and military failures led to the Russian Revolution. The Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, seized power and eventually signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk with the Central Powers, leading to Russia's withdrawal from the war. Entry of the United States, April 6, 1917. The sinking of the Lusitania and unrestricted submarine warfare led to the United States entering the war on the side of the Allies. American forces played a crucial role in the later stages of the conflict. Second Battle of the Marne, July 15, August 6, 1918. A turning point on the Western Front, the Second Battle of the Marne saw the Allies launching a successful counteroffensive against the Germans, marking the beginning of the end for the Central Powers. Armistice, November 11, 1918. The signing of the armistice in Compiègne, France on November 11, 1918, marked the official end of hostilities. World War I resulted in significant geopolitical changes, the redrawing of borders, and the eventual creation of the League of Nations in an attempt to prevent future conflicts. Key characters: Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, whose assassination in Sarajevo in 1914 triggered the chain of events leading to the outbreak of World War I. Kaiser Wilhelm II, Germany, the German emperor who led Germany during World War I. His militaristic policies and aggressive stance contributed to the escalation of tensions in Europe. Tsar Nicholas II, Russia, the last emperor of Russia, whose poor leadership and the internal struggles of his regime contributed to the instability that led to the Russian Revolution in 1917. Woodrow Wilson, United States, the President of the United States during World War I. Wilson played a key role in shaping the post-war settlement and advocating for the League of Nations. David Lloyd George, United Kingdom, the British Prime Minister during World War I. Lloyd George led the UK through the later stages of the war and participated in the post-war negotiations. Georges Clemenceau, France, the French Prime Minister during World War I. Clemenceau was a strong and determined leader who played a key role in the post-war negotiations, representing France's interests. Gavrilo Princip, the Bosnian Serb nationalist who assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand, setting off the chain of events that led to the war. General John J. Pershing, United States, the commander of the American Expeditionary Forces on the Western Front. Pershing played a crucial role in the later stages of the war. Field Marshal Douglas Haig, United Kingdom, the British military commander on the Western Front, known for his role in major battles such as the Battle of the Somme. Marshal Ferdinand Foch, France, a French military commander who played a key role in the later stages of the war and later became one of the architects of the Treaty of Versailles. These figures, among others, influenced the course and outcome of World War I, leaving a lasting impact on the geopolitical landscape of the 20th century. The home front and the social impact of war. Mobilization of resources. The war necessitated the mobilization of entire nations. Governments on both sides initiated extensive efforts to harness resources, including manpower, industrial production, and finances. This led to the introduction of war economies and increased government control over various sectors. Propaganda and public opinion. Propaganda played a crucial role in shaping public opinion. Governments used various mediums to influence citizens and build support for the war effort. Propaganda posters, films, and speeches aimed to evoke patriotic sentiments and encourage enlistment. Women's contribution. With millions of men serving in the armed forces, women took on new roles in the workforce. They contributed to industries, took up jobs traditionally held by men, and played a vital role in keeping economies functional. This shift had long-lasting effects on gender roles and expectations. Rationing and war measures. To ensure sufficient resources for the military, governments implemented rationing and introduced various war measures. Civilians faced restrictions on the consumption of certain goods, and industries were repurposed to support the war effort. Civilian casualties and displacement. The war brought unprecedented civilian casualties, particularly due to bombings and blockades. Many civilians were displaced, and the home front became a site of hardship, with families enduring economic difficulties and loss. Social impact. Casualties and grief. The war resulted in a staggering number of casualties, causing immense grief and loss for families. The toll on human lives, coupled with the physical and mental injuries suffered by soldiers, left lasting scars on communities. Technological advances and changes. World War I witnessed rapid technological advancements in weaponry and warfare. The introduction of tanks, chemical weapons, and new strategies forever altered the nature of warfare. These changes had broader implications for post-war society. Psychological trauma. Soldiers returning from the front lines often faced profound psychological trauma. Conditions like shell shock, now recognized as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, had a significant impact on the mental health of individuals and communities. Dissatisfaction and unrest. The prolonged and devastating nature of the war led to growing dissatisfaction among the civilian population. Economic hardships, loss of life, and war weariness contributed to social unrest, paving the way for political changes in some countries. League of Nations and international relations. In response to the devastation of World War I, the League of Nations was established with the aim of preventing future conflicts. This marked an early attempt at international cooperation and laid the groundwork for future diplomatic efforts. In summary, World War I deeply influenced societies on the home front and brought about significant social changes. The war's impact reverberated far beyond the battlefield, shaping the trajectory of the 20th century. Territorial changes. The treaty imposed significant territorial changes on Germany. It required the surrender of territories to Belgium, France, and Denmark. The Saar Basin was placed under the administration of the League of Nations, and the provinces of Alsace and Lorraine were returned to France. Disarmament and military restrictions. To prevent future aggression, the treaty imposed strict limitations on the German military. The German army was limited in size, and the country was forbidden from possessing certain types of weapons, aircraft, and submarines. War Guilt Clause. Article 231 of the treaty, known as the War Guilt Clause, placed full responsibility for the war on Germany and its allies. This clause became a source of great resentment in Germany and contributed to the perception of the treaty as a diktat. Reparations. Germany was burdened with heavy reparations for war damages. The exact amount was determined later, but the financial strain on Germany contributed to economic hardships and political instability in the following years. League of Nations. The treaty established the League of Nations, an international organization aimed at preventing future conflicts. The League was envisioned as a forum for diplomatic resolution and collective security. However, the United States, despite President Woodrow Wilson's efforts, did not join the League. Post-World War I. Economic turmoil. The aftermath of World War I brought economic challenges, including hyperinflation in Germany. The war's financial toll, coupled with reparations, contributed to economic instability in various European countries. Political changes. The treaty's harsh terms and economic difficulties led to political changes. In Germany, the Weimar Republic replaced the imperial government. political instability and discontent paved the way for extremist ideologies, contributing to the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. In summary, the Treaty of Versailles and the post-World War I era had far-reaching consequences, shaping the course of 20th century history and setting the stage for future geopolitical development. Cultural impact and legacy of World War I. 1. Lost generation. The term lost generation emerged to describe the disillusioned individuals who came of age during or just after World War I. Writers and artists such as Ernest Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald captured the sense of aimlessness and trauma experienced by those who witnessed the horrors of the war. This generation struggled to find meaning in a world that seemed forever changed. 2. Artistic expression. The brutality and devastation of the war found expression in various art forms. Artists depicted the harsh realities through paintings, sculptures, and literature. The Dada movement, born out of the war's absurdity, questioned traditional norms and conventions, reflecting the shattered state of post-war society. 3. Literature and poetry. World War I inspired a wealth of literature and poetry that conveyed the emotional toll of the conflict. Works like Wilfred Owen's poetry and Erich Maria Remarque's All Quiet on the Western Front vividly depicted the horrors of warfare and the profound impact on individuals. Change in values. The war prompted a reassessment of cultural values. Traditional notions of heroism and glory associated with war were replaced by a more somber and realistic understanding of its human cost. The war's futility led to a questioning of authority and established norms. 5. Technological advances. The technological advancements of World War I, including tanks and chemical weapons, reshaped the cultural landscape. The impact of these innovations on warfare altered societal perspectives on progress, science, and the potential dangers of unchecked technological development. 6. Political upheavals. The aftermath of the war saw political upheavals and revolutions, notably in Russia and Germany. These events had profound cultural implications, influencing artistic movements, intellectual discourse, and the emergence of new ideologies. 7. War memorials and commemoration. Countries erected war memorials to commemorate the fallen soldiers, contributing to a collective cultural memory of the war. Remembrance ceremonies, such as Armistice Day, became integral to the cultural fabric, emphasizing the importance of honoring the sacrifices made during the conflict. 8. Impact on gender roles. The war had a transformative effect on gender roles. With men serving on the front lines, women took on roles in the workforce and society that were previously reserved for men. This shift laid the groundwork for later advancements in women's rights. 9. Pacifist movements. The devastating nature of World War I fueled pacifist movements and anti-war sentiments. Organizations advocating for peace gained momentum, and individuals sought to prevent the recurrence of such a catastrophic conflict. 10. Seeds of World War II. The unresolved issues and perceived injustices of the Treaty of Versailles planted seeds for future conflicts, notably World War II. The cultural trauma and geopolitical consequences of World War I lingered, shaping the geopolitical landscape of the 20th century. In summary, World War I left an indelible mark on global culture, ushering in a period of introspection and reevaluation. The war's cultural legacy extended beyond its immediate aftermath, influencing artistic expression, societal values, and political developments for decades to come. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and comment down below with your thoughts. Don't not forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all the exciting content coming your way. As always, it's been a pleasure sharing this moment with you. Until next time, enthusiasts of podcast, goodbye for now.